Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Man here. This is a little 1959 Briggs and Stratton engine that I got for free the other day. Or actually it was yesterday. It's a model 81302, type 943634, code 5912020. You can tell it's a 1959 by the first two digits of the code, which are 59 on this motor, so that means it's a 1959. Currently, this motor don't run. It's got no spark whatsoever, but this motor is so old that it has points underneath the flywheel, as all Briggs and Stratton engines did up until 1982. So we're going to have to take off this shroud, which involves one bolt here, one bolt down here, and one bolt right there. And then I can pull this face assembly off. Then I'm judging just by looking down to the air intake that this carburetor is really disgusting inside, so we're going to take out that screw there, that screw there, that screw there, that screw there. Actually, I'm going to leave this on. I'm just going to take out that screw there and that screw there and take off the intake pipe. Let the carburetor drop down. Pull off the throttle linkage back there and take it off. This here is the choke. That's full choke. That's no choke. Then I'm going to take out that screw there, that screw there, that screw there, then the other screw in the back, which is right there. And I'm going to take apart this carburetor here. And we're going to clean it all out and make it like brand new again. I'm going to have to make myself a fitting for where the gas line goes, because that fitting is gone. Or maybe I'll just find myself a piece of fuel line that'll show over those threads, which would be easier. I think this thing is all original, actually, because the engine shroud matches the paint in the engine block perfectly. And I scratched through a little spot on this paint, and what came through was the engine block. So I think she's all original. This thing has immense compression. If you don't have your foot down on the shroud very hard, like almost all your weight while you pull it, it will pull right up off the ground. If you take the pull rope and set the engine, you can take the pull rope and pick the engine up in the air with it. It has so much compression. So this engine's like brand new still. So I'm sure this thing will run amazing once it's done. I'm thinking of a couple different ideas for what I'm going to do with this motor. I'm either going to put it on my little edger, which I showed you guys in another video, or I'm going to use it to turn a car alternator and make myself a little 12-volt portable battery charger. Now, I built one of those before, and it works the engine kind of hard when you're actually charging on it. It does work it pretty hard. It's not easy on it, but they do it no problem. It doesn't work it like super hard, like to the point where I'd be worried about hurting it, so it'll be okay. You can see that stuff comes kind of close, so I don't know what that does or any of that does. Now, this is the first engine I've ever owned that actually says Briggs and Stratton with the 5 lines. I've never owned one this old. Closest thing I had was my 1969 Briggs 3-horse that was in the intro video. So this is basically just before. You can see that old spark plug boot. It's probably going to need to get replaced with something newer. I know this video is going to be kind of long, but I'm really into old engines, and I want to get my YouTube fans into it too. It looks like this engine might have a crank seal leak. I'm not sure, because it looks like it has some oil around here. It doesn't really feel like it does, but after I pulled it over a bunch, it kind of felt like it did. There's actually a real quick and easy way to tell. Take the engine and stand it up on its crankshaft for a few seconds. Now, this will get a little bit of oil into your exhaust too, because it'll leak past the piston rings a little bit. But this engine ain't going to be running anytime soon, so I'm not worried about it. I set it back down. Some water came out of somewhere. I'm assuming up in here somewhere, up in the shroud. As you can see, it's just water. But the crankshaft did get wetter. Uh-oh. I think this engine's full of water, you guys. That also means the crank seal is leaking, so it'll have to get replaced. Let's take off the oil cap and see what happens. This might come gushing out everywhere. Ew. That's mainly water and just a little bit of oil. What it is in there is oil, though. It's pretty thin oil, but there's definitely water mixed in for sure, because this is pure water with a tiny little bit of oil, not much oil in there. So we're going to have to change the crank seal. Not a big deal, real easy. I do it the day's farm way. I just take a flathead screwdriver, usually, like, when I find the one I usually use. I can't get this drawer open right now, something's jamming it. There we go. There we go. Something up in there is jamming it somewhere. I usually use a little screwdriver. Dang it, I don't know where that screwdriver is. Here it is. Like this one here. This one's got a busted tip actually. I just take it and I set it in there, hit it up with a hammer, hit it into there, and just pry it out, and it comes right out. And you just gotta go buy a new one. They're cheap too. They're only like, I think $2. You can see the crankcase vent isn't hooked up anymore. It's got some kind of a clamp on it that's not doing anything. I can actually just take that off because it's not using it, or will be using it anytime soon. Ooh, that's a bad hose. Ooh, that's bad. So that's obviously not going to get hooked back up because I'm not changing that hose. That's way too hard to do. This carburetor is actually interesting because it has this valve, but this valve is seized. Oops, there's something making a funny noise. I don't know what that is. It's something jamming it up here. I see what it is. It's this plastic. Hold on. Sorry about this video, guys, but this is... I need to get this drawer open. There. MTD wheel bushings. So let's see if we can actually get that fuel valve unstuck. Who knows when the last time this was turned was. There we go. Now it's rotating. Just had to get a little freed up after time. I'm assuming it's open right now, so let's see if we can get it closed. This is a long video, but this is my first like actual working on an engine video, so I want to kind of video this here. Don't know when this will be up, but today is August 13th, 2013, obviously. This is all going to get cleaned up, so this fuel valve will move real easy once the carburetor is done. There we go. Now it's closed all the way. Let's open it back up. If it'll come back open. There we go. It feels like it's turning a little bit freer, but not free enough. I can turn it by hand. I'll actually just do this. I'm not really videoing this all that much because I'm just trying to look into it so I can see what I'm doing. And looking through my iPod screen isn't exactly that easy. There we go. Now she's turning. There we go. Ooh. Okay, maybe that's a weird kind of fuel valve, actually. That might be some kind of a mixture screw, but obviously the carburetor is going to be nasty. This video is getting too long, so I'm going to have to cut it off here. There you see all that disgusting oil. I'm actually going to put that back on because I don't want to get that everywhere. I'll drain that out in a second. I'll get another video in a few minutes when I got the carburetor coming off because I'm going to start on this tonight. But anyway, that's it for me for right now. So as usual, thank you for watching, and have yourselves a nice day.